Hello there, friends. It's Raj here once again, and you're welcome to Perspective. How's your day been? So today, I want to talk about people and systems. So for most of us in Nigeria, most especially, so we usually talk about having a terrible system, and our country is the way it is because the system is bad. And sometimes you see people saying, no, it's not the problem of the system, it's the people. The people are bad. And I will do another video to talk about leadership. Like, can we have a good leadership when we have very bad followership? I will still talk about that. But to talk about system and people, from my understanding, and this is my perspective, like I usually say, I stand to be corrected, and I'm always willing to learn. If you know better, please do share with me. Like, I welcome all views. So this is my perspective about people and system. So my idea is that systems are created by people. Systems are not things that exist naturally. So when we live in a country, we need the people to build the system. So the reason why I believe that we are as chaotic as we are presently is because at a point in time, just like we used to hear from those who are older than us, that at the point in time Nigeria was orderly, people were orderly, like everything was in its place, probably before the 80s, I guess. But at the point in time, people start becoming terrible, and when they start becoming terrible, there was nothing to say, hey, stop that, or there's nothing to say. And it's not like we don't have laws that says do this or do that, but like, are those laws enforced? Like, do we actually make those systems work? So when we don't make those systems work, more people come into the system, and when they come into the system, they meet disorderliness, they meet chaos, and they believe that that is the way to go. So in the long run, we have a generation of people who only understand chaos. So basically, I try to understand this from the perspective of some of the orderliness that I saw in Kigali, that is in Rwanda. I've done another video to talk much more about Rwanda, and that is, it was kind of surreal to see people in an African city, in an African country, walking on the zebra crossing, and all vehicles and motorcycles, they have to stop and respect that. You don't try that in Lagos. You don't try that in Lagos, especially on the mainland. Yeah, even on the island, it depends, yeah. But you don't really try that. It's like the real part of Lagos. You don't try that. But when I asked some locals about that, and they mentioned that this was something that was started just a little over a year ago. So they put in a system where, like, you do not, as a vehicle, go on the zebra crossing when the pedestrians are using it. So, and the funny thing is, whoever come into the city as a guest or a tourist is going to see that system. They have no choice but to obey, because like, there is a law that is actually dealing with people who flout the law. And Rwanda is very, very strong on corruption, like very, very strong on corruption. So you can't bribe your way through. You are going to be dealt with. So then the most important thing is, a new generation of people are going to come into that system. And when those people come into that system, there is no other way. That is the way they see. They grow up, they become adults who are used to orderliness, and they are not used to chaos. So, and that is how you have a generation of people who believes that, yeah, things can be done the proper way. You don't need to be chaotic. You don't need to be aggressive about things. Like, you don't need to be the Nigerian way. I believe that the system, we need the people to build the system. Like I usually say, like, for my generation, we shouldn't have too much expectations about a wonderful Nigeria, but my generation have a responsibility of building a generation, or building a system for the incoming generation, and we can actually start that right now. The people build the system, then the system is going to sustain the people, by the people making sure that the system continually sustain the people and continually sustain the system itself. I'll catch you next time.